Alright. I'm trying to get a little short live one for you on the Etsy updates they've just recently done. Trying to get this set up so I can see. And see if anybody's listening, but if not, you'll be able to watch it later. Anyhow. Here's one of the things Etsy has updated. Just popped up yesterday, and I saw it on this notice that somebody posted about the sending a thank you note thing. I guess it's something they've just started. I don't know if it's for Etsy Plus only. It says I don't have that, but somebody said it wasn't. And I actually think that on one of my pages it actually is on, because a lady got a message saying that her item would ship tomorrow, and I didn't send it. So I'm not sure what was going on with that. So I did not. I don't know. I don't know if that's active on one of my shops or not. It's not on my main shop. But basically what it is Etsy is writing a little thank you note to email the customer, and you can preview it, or I guess you might can edit it, and then it will send it to you. Now, if you're doing the snippet notes, then you don't really necessarily need this. I've started doing the snippet notes and sending one when I put it in line to process it when I first get the order, and then one when it's processed and packed to let them know it's getting ready to ship, and ask them to let me know when they get it. And I've started getting more reviews, and like I got a note yesterday just from the customer to let me know they liked it, and they had gotten it yesterday when I shipped it out on Friday, I think it was. So that's a new feature. And also, if I can find it, yesterday they rolled out the customization box for personalization. And trying to think where. I think I saw it on my dashboard to start with. Let me see if it's down here. Because you have to actually click it. Oh, okay. It has on here, it says if you go to your main shop page, and they've got all that stuff at the top now. It's like make your shop shine little holiday guide thing. If you go down, several things down, and it's like under the Cyber Weekend sale thing. It says keep them coming back. That's where you can send a little coupon or whatever, trying to get you to send those coupons. It's giving you the thing about the new search, explore your traffic analytics thing. We're going to look at that. And then it says a better way for shoppers to request personalization under there. So what that is I'm so glad I finally added it, and I'm not having to pay for it under the Plus plan. Amazon's always had their listings where you could set it up, and it required a customer to leave the could even purchase. That's the only thing about Amazon I actually really love, is that they had that, and you could do multiple things. They could custom, you can make them pick a color, you can make them pick material, you could have a block that said, put your personalization here, and if it was something like my 5-layer charm, I could have a block for layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5. I had multiple options there for personalizing on Amazon, and Etsy's always only been the leave it in the note to seller box at checkout. So now they have changed it after everybody has begged for years. So you can have them personalize it right on the page for the item. And you can put, like mine has a little note that says, please leave the names, dates, or any other personalization below to avoid shipping delays. And it says it's required, so they have to put the information in there to fill it out before they can check out. So all these people that you've had a problem with, if you do personalized items that don't leave their information, Now they're going to have to leave it in that box before they can check out. So you won't be messaging customers going, you purchased this, but you didn't leave the personalization. I can't do it until you get back to me. So it's going to save me a ton of time, I hope, at Christmas, because people will have to put it in there, and I won't have to be chasing them down. I mean, I've had times where I had 4 things sitting waiting to hear back from customer because they didn't leave the name to go on a keychain that's specifically made to have a name on the main part. So that just rolled out yesterday, and they have that little thing. You can click it, and it kind of tells you about it and how it works. And you can go into the bulk editor to turn it on for all your listings, or you can do it from each listing. And I'm going to go to a listing and see if I can show you where that little button is. Here. I turned it on for mine yesterday because 90% of my shop is personalized. So I went ahead and, bulk edited and turned it on for everything it needed to be on for. If you go to a listing, and I'm going to go to one of these because I don't think it matters which one I do, even though they're turned on. And you go down, it has always had the little box for, can this be personalized? And you click, and you would just click yes. Well, I want to think. There was that box I had clicked yes, and then there was another box that said that showed up. Yeah, there it is, yesterday. And it says personalization, and it's got new beside it, so you'll know it's the new thing. And it's got on and off button where you can cut it on and off for each individual listing. So if you only have a few things in your shop that have it, you can use and leave it off for others. And you just flip that little thing there, and then you put the little note you want to put in the guidelines for buyers, and you put the instructions for leaving their note. And it has a character limit of 256 for their note. Once you turn it on and publish it, when you go to the item, there's that little box is right there underneath. Like if they have variations, they can pick a chain length or colors or whatever. When you go to that item, there's actually a little box right there. So when they're checking out, they have to type it in that little box and leave their personalization for there. So I'm going to click on one of mine. So this one here is a good example. They have to select material if they want copper or silver on this one. And they select the style they want. And then underneath it, pick the quantity. And it says add your personalization. So before they add it to the cart, they have to put in, if they want it to be daddy and the kid's name or whatever they need, and then add it to the cart, and they can go from there. I'm going to love this feature, but it's not quite as nice as the Amazon one, but at least it's something for those of us that have been begging for it. So because customers would message and go, where do I leave my personalization? Because they didn't know where to leave it from just looking at our main listing. I would get that all the time. Where do I leave my personalization? And I'm like, either you message it to me here like you just did, or there's a note to seller box at checkout. But customers didn't get it because it wasn't on the page. So I'm hoping this is going to help that it's now on this page. But I think it's going to be a great feature. I was able to do it on mine from the bulk editing for listings. I'm going to pull that up. You can just go for your listings. Like mine, I have things that have to be personalized and things that don't. So all my stamped jewelry can be personalized. So I went to my listings and just searched for stamped items and pulled them all up. if I can get this to go to them. It's been slow this morning. But I opened them all up, and you know how you can, if you're doing bulk editing, I hope most of you have learned how to do that now. But I just pulled up, say, whichever ones I want to do, and I just put stamped because everything in my shop is that stamped can be personalized. So you go to that, and then if you're doing bulk editing option, you know how you can click and you can select just that's what on the page you're looking at, or you can select all 211 pages, or all 211 items that are in that category, and you click on editing options, and it's got the tags, title, description, price, personalization, production partners, renewal options. Oh, that's nice. They've added that. They've added a couple things. Renewal options. You can renew everything at one time. They've added this as new too. Just noticing, y'all, that the manual expired listings myself are automatic. You can do from this instead of having to go to each one to change that. Also, that's good to know. And the edit personalizations, when you click on that, that's where you put your little note, and it will pop up. And when you hit apply after you put your note in, it will turn it on for everything you select to turn it on for. Or if you want to turn it off, you can turn it off for all of them from there too. So that's all. That one just rolled out yesterday. So if you haven't looked at it and you do have things that are personalized, check it out. I'm going to go and look at the other thing that was being asked about too. Let me pull that up. For the listing analysis thing, they've come up with now for the new analysis. I'm trying to find it. A new way to explore your Etsy search traffic. You can click on it there, and there's another place you can get to it from, but this is easier for me right now. You can go to analytics or stats, I think, and get to it from there too. So this is fairly new. It's still, I don't know if everybody has this because it says it's still in beta. It says visits and revenue data do not yet include data from buy on Etsy app. We're working to improve this in later update. Well, guess what? 90% of your customers are using the buy on Etsy app. So this is way off what you're seeing here, because it's half the customers that may have purchased may not even be included in what they're showing you here, because this has got my data compared from to October 12th to November 11th, 2017. And it's showing my visits to my shop is only 527, so it's down 42%. What? Yeah, I mean, I've had more visits than that in a week sometimes, so I know that that's not correct. And it's showing my total earnings through Etsy as only $236 for that whole month, when it was more like $2,000. So I guess the one thing I can gather from that is a lot of people shop from their phones or tablets, because none of those people that are using the phone and tablet app are included in this data right now. So it's really kind of they needed to fix that before they rolled it out, because it's not giving you very good data, honestly, because it's not including customer base in this data right here. I guess the only good thing you can get out of it is until they get that fixed, is you can see what the searches were for the ones that actually were looking on the computer, because it's not showing you what people that looked on their phone, which is most of your customers, have actually been looking at. The question was looking at this, should they start, looking at the search phrases that were used here and start using them for more listings? Well, that depends, because as we're seeing here, looking at this, it's not giving you data, but except from the customers that searched from a desktop, which is a much larger percentage of your customers are searching from the phone. So at this point, going by this data and starting to change things may not be the best idea to do a whole lot of changes, because it isn't very accurate for your shop as a whole, because it's totally missing most of what your customers, and you're not seeing what they searched for. So this could be, only 2 or 3 people use this particular search phrase, where if you saw the full search results, you might find something completely different here. So I wouldn't jump the gun and start changing things based on what you're seeing on this currently, because it's not giving you the correct data. Now, what I do know, just from my own personal shop, I can look at this and what it is giving me. I know where things that have been searched and sold from. It does give you it's giving me my revenue from these things. But here's the other kicker. Say napkin rings, for instance. It shows how many impressions, what position it was in, how many visits it's had in a month. And I only made $47.70 revenue on napkin rings. Well, here's the thing. Apparently, I only had one customer that purchased that was on the desktop, so that's the one that's showing up. Because I sold $100 worth of these things last night, and then I sold another $100 worth of these things on Saturday. So I'm guessing those 2 customers purchased off their phone or tablet, because they're not showing up in this data. So this is not giving me a real good clue as how much money I've made off of selling those napkin rings, because it's only showing the $47 worth, and I probably made at least $300 worth on napkin rings in this month time frame. So it's not giving me great data here, because I've sold some of these things. It's showing, mother's necklace. It's showing I've had 7 visits on, no sales, but yet yesterday I sold 2 that would be considered under the mother's necklace search phrase yesterday. And same for nursing instructor gifts. It's not showing me that I made any sales using that search phrase, but I know that I did. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in this currently. Now, once they fix it, it may be a much better tool thing to go by. But right now, I'm looking at this, and I can see just on page 1 multiple things that it's looking like I haven't made any sales on. I've had views, but no sales, that I have actually had sales on over the last 7 days. And it's not showing that. So that tells me 2 things. Yeah, that search phrase has been used. But if you look at it and see there's no sales, that's going to give you false information. But it also lets me know that the sales that I have had have been coming from tablets and phones, so that you can realize that a good bit of your customers are searching from mobile devices. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're doing your listings and how your pictures look and that kind of thing, because you want it to be friendly for those customers, because that's where they're obviously looking at, because this is not giving you correct data at all. It's just, and it says it's only, search. It's not including from the mobile devices, from the Etsy app. So I think this is a little bit, they jumped the gun putting it out yet until they could get it where it included that app, because even Etsy is smart enough to know that 90% of the customers are searching for mobile devices. So I don't know why they rolled it out yet in beta when they're not even able to give you a really good look at the information yet. But it does tell you some keywords that you can tell that people on the computer have searched. It's not giving you correct data on your sales. It's not even giving you correct data on how many customers have searched that, because most of the customers that searched it are looking on phones or tablets. But it is telling me, I can tell even just from the computer the amount of people that search for personalized jewelry, and this is going to be the same for anything: personalized T-shirts, personalized, anything that's personalized. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's something somebody can personalize it with a name. It's going to be high searched. There's some good information, but I wouldn't start changing keywords and things just based on that yet. I would wait for them to get this thing fixed. So it includes information from the app and from the computer, because you might change it now based on what somebody on the computer's looked at. Once they get the information from the phone app, you might find out that good search, but there's something else similar that's an even better search you should have changed it to instead. So I'd hold off. I would look at this. These search phrases are on here. I would check them on Etsy rank, see what it pulls up on there, and kind of judge from there. If it's something that's really high search based on the computer, more than likely it's when you add the data from the app, it's probably even going to be higher. You may say, okay, I'm going to check this on Etsy rank, and it pulls high there, so I'm going to go ahead and change that and add it in. But don't jump and add too many things just yet. Let's give it another, hopefully within a month or so, they will have this fixed where it's actually providing you some data from where people have searched on the phone apps and tablets. Because, right now it's giving you like 10% of the data when, the other 90% is from tablets and phones. But it is once they get it fixed, I think it'll be a good tool to use to give you an idea of key phrases to use. But not all of them are going to be used, but you can be able to check, like one here says number one dad pick necklace, but there's only been one search. So that's not the greatest, one to look at. But I think when they get it fixed, it'll be a much better tool to go by. I'm looking to see if there's a. I think you could also find it, because I found it from one place. I'm going to make sure, so I'll tell you right. I think if you go to stats, you could also get to that. That's the other thing. If you go to your stats, I'll look at yesterday's, and you go down to the bottom there. It gives you some of that same information here for visits and views, but that other, it does give you a little more detail. It's just not up to date yet. But another place to look is to go, when you go to this, go to listings, and when you get here, it tells you more data. This one actually tells you the data from all places that have looked. I think. Well, maybe it doesn't, because that's only showing 1, 2. It may not be as up to date either. It does have a little more information, but I'm not sure if it's up to date with the rest either. Based on what I know I've sold, I'm not sure. if it's even giving us the correct sales numbers on here either. I'm going to research that a little bit more. Really thought you could get to that from here, and I'm not seeing it. I guess they moved it because it used to be. Nope. I'm just looking to see if I can find it because it did have a place where you could go to. I guess the only way to get to that now is to go to there, but I thought it was under analytics, under your stats, that you could go to that. You keep moving things around. I'm not seeing it now other than to get to there from this little thingy at the top that they've got taken over half your page. They may have moved the button just to there now. And they may end up taking that completely away depending on they can get those kinks worked out. Because if they can't get that bug worked out, it's not really doing any of us any good because it's not giving us all the information. There was a little thing that when you pulled up over here, it would say new analytics thing, and that's not there anymore. So I guess they've moved that all the way around. Sorry, guys. Oops, why did I do that? Okay. I'm gonna also see if I can pull up that new. Started working today. I'm going to be pretty busy the rest of the day. I will be home if you have any questions, but I have about, I don't know, at least 20 orders I got to get done. Because I got a couple of local and then I got a lot online. Because I've got like 10 sterling silver ones to get to this morning. So I'll be pretty busy most of the day. Not what I want. If I can pull up Etsy rank, we'll look at the new keyword thing too. Right, fast before I stop. I haven't had a lot of time to play. I've looked at it, but I've been kind of busy with orders because my Christmas stuff is starting to come in already. So the Keyword Explorer new. This is the one that you can put just the one thing in and search, and it gives you all the graphed thingy. And then he has the compare keyword thing he's just been looking at. And this here, somebody had asked, when it says no search data available, it's got Google data. It doesn't have the Etsy search data available for some things that are longer keywords, but it does tell you, if it's a higher conversion rate. And a lot of times with these, it's like hand stamp jewelry and custom stamp jewelry. In this case, it will give you more of the Etsy search data on there. But I'm kind of learning how to figure it out. just because it's high engagement and the graph, and because I know what my if it's a good thing to use or not. But I'm going to look at the compare keyword tool. This one, he's changed this. It used to be where you could only compare 3. Now it is 4. And he's been playing with it because before, it had the red, yellow, green. Tried to make it better. So I'm going to check a few and we're going to look and see how it pulls up. For all of these. And it's nice that you can do 4 because I have a lot of times I wish I could do 4. Yeah. Then you can compare all 4 at one time. And before it would just have the stoplight looking version underneath it all that had the engagement, demand, views. It would have all of that for each thing right under it. So I'm going to see what it looks like now that he's changed it, since I haven't had time to really play with it good since he's fixed that and gotten it back up. Because I think it was down part of last week and couldn't see anything. So now he's got it so it shows you each thing, and each of the 4 has their own color. So it now has a graph, so you can see which is the highest one, which is, in this case, personalized jewelry gets more searches. Hand stamped jewelry gets the next, and then hand stamped that's not done right and it's all one word is the next one. And custom stamp is the lowest one. It gets less searches, but I do get people that search it and have pulled up things from that. Then he's got the stoplight part, but he has fixed it so it's not only the colors, it's also a gauge kind of thing, and the searches is kind of, it fills it up. If it fills it up, it's higher searches, and it gives you an estimate of how many searches. The same as it did, it's just a little different look, and instead of you're just getting red, yellow, green. And it's telling, it's got the high, medium, very high engagement scores on there. And then it gives you, your Google search, Google competition, heart, average price, all of that. It gives you a little different analysis. It's a little different than it was, but it gives you the same information plus the information you didn't get before, like the Google search and competition kind of thing. All that wasn't there before because it was just the 3, it was just the certain columns with competition and engagement and search. And it was like competition, engagement, search was like stacked. So now it's, it's gone vertical instead of, it's gone horizontal instead of vertical for each word. But it's a good way to compare. I think it's good. And I do like that I can compare. I'm looking at competition. I look at engagement. I look at the searches. Most of the time, it's going to be high competition if it's getting searches because other sellers have figured it out and they're using the same things. I do go with more high competition, high engagement things because a lot of times that are higher searched. Now, when I'm looking at this one particularly, custom stamp is, showing less searches. It's medium engagement. I know a lot of people do use it. And I have gotten, I'm using it some simply because all I got to do with the way the new title is throw custom in and go custom hand stamp jewelry, and it throws it in there. um, just to catch those people that do search custom stamped. So I'm basically trying to make my title so it incorporates all of these to get the best views. And it seems to be working out pretty well. I'm going to look at the listing grades again for all of y'all that are, still in the freak out zone for your E's. You need to keep it up. Keep remembering that this is just a little guide to help you out. It's telling you if you got things set up right. It is not, in any means or all, Etsy does not take this information here and your grade here to set where you're going to be on Etsy, okay? I think some people got that a little confused and they think they got a D, they're never going to show up. You can have a D or an E and still show up in a search if the title wording's good. You just may not have it set up completely right. I mean, that's just all it is. There's things right here that I got an E on and I got a sell with last week. So I'm still getting found. I'm still getting views. Everything's still working. It just may not be set up, to have that best grade yet. But my wording I'm using is, so I'm still getting sales from it. So all the jumping and running and changing titles everybody's done. Some of them jumped the gun and made a mess. I'm going to look at this. While I got it pulled up, I'm going to pull up one of these. And I'm going to fix one of them. Let's see if I can get it from an E to an A. It's, telling me my CEO grade is an E, and what that's telling me is there's some issues with punctuation, that kind of thing. I know it's getting searched. I know it's getting seen. Basically, it tells me, so, the little note about it may be, maybe issues with the title, may look like, computer made it, that kind of thing. That's all because of the commas. I'm also looking to see that I have some things that I don't necessarily need that I have duplicated and I'm going to have to fix. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this and edit it while I have it pulled up for those of you that, are still trying to figure out how to do that. So I'm looking at this title, and at the time I did it, it worked. It was getting me sales. It's still getting me sales. It's getting seen, but it wasn't very customer friendly if a customer reads it. Now, I still don't think most customers read it. But for those that do, or if it shows up on a Google ad, you do want what's under the thumbnail to kind of tell them what it is. And I do like that he's got this feature. So if you scroll on down here, it shows your little thumbnail in your Etsy and Google preview, so you can see what's under. Now, what's showing under my nail is not bad. Personalized mommy bracelet, that's fine. But if the customer happens to read the whole thing, then it doesn't look as good. So I'm going to go back and edit this to make it be a little better and see if I can get this to go from an E to an A in one try. Maybe. If it would stop being today. The first thing I'm going to do is I got a couple pictures I'm going to add because I've been adding these to all of my listings. It's simply a little note to encourage people to go and purchase early into your personalization. And I made these a week or so ago. And see, a lot of us are getting this little caution sign here about your pictures, but I'm finding that the pictures still look good when it pulls up, so I'm not I'll flip out over it and be overly concerned. Yep. So, I got that part fixed. I'm going to continue to edit this. We'll see what I can do with this type problem. That's correct. Yes, aluminum and stainless. Somehow or another, I'm finding that some of these things that I had actually had checked at one time are no longer checked. And as an issue with Etsy, and it's getting on my nerves. Just like this personalization option has been unchecked when I know that I had it checked for all of them. And I'm having to fix it. And it's a little annoying. So I'm doing all that. Picking some attributes I hadn't picked. I'm going to look at this title, and I've got Mother's Day gift, Mother's Jewelry. Let's see what all I've got in here this time. Okay. I'm going to completely change this thing a little bit. Let's see if I can't fix this part better. This one here. Adjustable. Mommy. Alright, and then I'm going to go here. And I'm going to rearrange this thing. Let's see if this one needed some definite work. So, completely change all of this. Let's see, custom hand stamp personal jewelry. This title had needed a little bit of work all along. It used to sell really kind of. I had another listing that was better, so I'm gonna try to revamp it completely. And I'm gonna look and see what it looks like because I'm trying to make it read more like a sentence and have 3 short phrases. So I'm just taking wording I used before and rearranging it, and I'm gonna add a couple better things in there too. And okay. Do that. I know all that's good wording, so I now have 3 phrases, so I have less punctuation, which is what I'm looking to have, because that's going to help that whole sounds like it's written by a computer thing. I'm going to go here, add this here. I have put a little note on mine about Christmas things, and that's going to come off later after Christmas. I can go in and edit that out, but during my holidays, I put a note in there to encourage people to go ahead and buy faster. The next thing you have to look at when you look at your title is down here, if you duplicated anything. So I have adjustable bangle and I have bangle. Well, I don't need both. I have jewelry, and jewelry is used in other things, so I don't need to use jewelry separate. I have engraved. I don't know that I necessarily need to use that. I have stamp jewelry, and I have hand stamps, so I don't need that. So I've done away with 3 tags. So now I can put some better tags. And let's see, I still got 2 more to go. Personalized. Yep. Come on. And one more. Let's see, what else can I think of? That one. Oh, okay. Gotta keep thinking I used that already. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna hit publish. Go back and see if we've made this thing into an A. Maybe. And I did. So it didn't take me but just a couple minutes of rearranging the title a little bit. So now my title looks better under the picture. Instead of saying mommy bracelet, whatever it is, it tells it's an adjustable bangle, mommy charm bracelet. We're the ones looking for the adjustable bangles. So it's a little better in the Google preview and the Etsy preview. So, when you're doing this and checking your listing grades, it's not as hard as people are making it out. I think you've just got to make it sound like a sentence, and you don't have to rush doing this. If it's getting you sales, you don't have to change it right away. That's where people are messing up, is changing and going for a short title. That is not what you need to do. Going too short is hurting people, and it's making some shops tank because they're going way too short with it. When all they needed to do was make it longer. And see this here, okay, this is so much, it's even giving you some little keys on phrases that might be better to use. So, I'm going to change this one up a little bit too, but I'm going to get to work because I really got to, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to be working till midnight. I hope everybody enjoys the new tools. If you have any questions about anything with any of them, just let me know. I'll try to get back to you, but I am going to be kind of busy today. Keep on working with your things, and don't go crazy trying to figure out how to do this. It is, if you're not used to it, it can be overwhelming, but there's an easy way to do it. If you have already figured out what your good keywords is, that's the thing. You got to know what they are before you go changing your listing titles. If you don't know what your good words are, changing it could just make a disaster if you change it to something you haven't researched. So you have to still stick with your better researched title phrases. And just make them into a sentence. That's it. That's all you're doing with it, is making it read like a sentence. You can have the exact same word you had before that was full of commas and multiple search phrases, and all you're doing is make it into a sentence. It's not that hard. I've got sterling silver cuff bracelet and bracelets, slashed off. Well, I don't even need to do that. I can comb that off. Sterling silver spoon. Let's see. I'm going to do this. Make this. I'm fixing it in 1 second to get rid of a lot of things I don't need. So I've just done away with that. Out of there. Don't need that anymore. Delete that. That's one phrase. Silverware. I'm going to go here and I'm going to switch a couple of words around from somewhere else, and I'm going to put I'm going to go down and see what's the last few things. I've got fork bracelet and gift for women's. I'm going to change that last phrase a little bit. Okay. And let's see. I've changed that into 3 short phrases using the wording that I had that I knew was good. Take that part off. Everything else is good. I think that maybe it's not lost its. Yep, it's good. Can it be? Oh, it's still turned on. Yay. It is slightly adjustable. Oh, anniversary. I'm just sometimes pick an occasion that it could be used for and just go with one. Because it's at least it has something there. It may not be the best thing because they don't give us the best things, but let's see. I'm gonna check all of this. I'm not gonna put Christmas or birthday in there. Okay. Add a couple of new keywords because I got rid of some I didn't need. Yes, I already used it, didn't know it. Publish it and then see if that pulled it up. Because 90% of the time, the reason your grade is bad is because you have too much punctuation at the top. That's what I am finding. On. Why? Well, I got it up to a B. I don't know why. If it didn't publish everything. Oh, multi-word. Oh, I didn't realize. I left one tag that was used twice. I didn't realize it. So I'm gonna fix that, and that'll take care of it. But that. So y'all can work Try not to get overwhelmed. Because, I mean, it does take time. And sometimes you can do it really easy, real fast. And sometimes you have to do like I'm doing now. And go back and fix one. And I'm going to fix this one. And then I'm going to buckle down on my shop and get all these orders I got to do done. I see. Okay, well, I'll take that away and put something else. And that should be. And then I'm going to go and see if I can hopefully get these 20 orders done today without pulling my hair out. So now I have an A. I hope that helps y'all some. Look at those new tools on Etsy and see how you can use them so that they'll, if you have any questions, message me. But it is easy to turn that stuff off and on from the bulk edit tool. So that may help you out a lot. It really saved me a ton of time. I first thought you had to go to each one listing separate. So using the bulk edit was great. I'm going to sign off now and see if I can't get back to 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I got 12 orders to do on here, and then my Amazon, and then my local. And some of these are multiple orders. So, y'all have a good day. I'll be right here working. Don't forget, you can always ask questions if you need to. We'll talk to y'all later.